Over the last 2 years, everything about WWE fans took for granted has changed. The internal structure has been reformed, with John Laurinaitis coming back into power as the head of talent relations, and he has been given even more departments under him thanks to the merging of several sections. The pandemic was given as an excuse for mass-scale releases in 2020, but since then it's become clear that was only partially the reason. With literally hundreds of superstars released over the last 2 years, fans no longer know what to expect. WWE employees and non-wrestling staff were not safe either, with hundreds of releases taking place there as well. NXT, the same brand that Triple H had built painstakingly over the last decade, was taken from him and tarnished in his absence, releasing superstars, changing the iconic black and gold logo to a horrible rainbow one, and many other disastrous decisions. WWE is going through a time of change, and it all seems to be leading to something, and there's one man at the head of this: Nick Khan. This is Wrestling Up, and we're talking about what could happen if Nick Khan took over WWE from Vince McMahon. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Vince McMahon loves doing the unexpected. When he steps down, instead of giving it to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon or Shane McMahon, as most fans have debated over the years, he might hand over the reins to Nick Khan. Khan is that weird spanner in the works of WWE, and it's been clear he does not see eye to eye with Triple H about the sort of programming WWE needs, given the changes made to NXT as well as the wrestlers he released while Triple H struggled to hang on to them. The infighting in WWE is apparent. As a result, this would be the step McMahon would take to throw fans and backstage officials into chaos. If there's one thing Nick Khan has shown that he feels about WWE, is that it's overloaded. He clearly does not feel WWE needs as many stars as it has. WWE over the last decade has been signing more and more staff and superstars, while Triple H has worked to expand the vision of the company to Japan, the UK, and many other places. Recently, WWE has given up on those ideas, with them letting their TV contracts in Japan lapse. Over 200 wrestlers and WWE employees have been released in a matter of 2 years since Nick Khan came to power. While the pandemic has been blamed and has been called cost cutting, WWE has been making record revenue on the other side of every quarter. Wrestlers who just started storylines were released right alongside wrestlers who had been absent for months. Top stars like Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt were let go, with it becoming clear no one was safe. Triple H and Nick Khan do not share the same vision for the future of WWE. Given how loyal Triple H is, he would not just leave if he was not given charge of the promotion. However, with his health issues, it's unlikely at this point he would be easy to convince others to give him control. In such a situation with Nick Khan in power, Triple H would be in hell. Khan has been releasing stars and treating NXT like it's expendable. He has changed the entire promotion with Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard's help to launch NXT 2.0, and fans can unanimously agree that compared to the NXT of old, this version is a downgrade. When Khan would be in charge, he would be unlikely to do Triple H any favors. Triple H's pet project in NXT would fall apart without him at the helm. If this were to happen, it would be the final axe in the heart of Triple H, someone who dedicated the last decade to changing the wrestling world. Nick Khan has no passion for pro wrestling, and he would not want to keep control of the company for a long time. His goal would be looking to broker a sale for WWE to the highest bidder. This would make for something special, and it's not clear where it would go, but it would be worth a lot. Who would own WWE? That can't be said at this stage, but Khan would definitely sell the company. Given NXT would soon be cancelled if Nick Khan came into control, it is likely Khan would be looking to bring back something else to fill that spot on television. What would Khan bring back in its place? For a long time, WWE's held onto its different properties with trademarks. ECW is one of the most valuable trademarks they have, and was only recently that WWE renewed it. Khan might try to bring it back to replace NXT. WWE is more family friendly these days. Even though they say the odds swear on television, they have to adhere to a strict set of rules. With this in mind, ECW as it was could never happen. While that hardcore wrestling will never take place in WWE again, it is likely that it would hurt everything related to the brand. It would be a worse version of the brand than even the 06 to 09 iteration in WWE, leading to more fans turning away. As seen recently, WWE seems to have reverted to that pre-Attitude Era idea of what wrestling was. Things are more cartoonish and the characters and gimmicks don't make that much sense. Before his release, Keith Lee was changed into Bearcat Lee. Damian Priest wears more eyeshadow to make it look like he's crazy. Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss are a gimmick that seems to be something everyone backstage is okay with. Karrion Kross was also changed and given a huge demonic mask to wear before he was let go. Simply put, people think this is what wrestling is now, even though it is made for some of the worst gimmicks. This is what Khan probably thinks is wrestling. He is not really a fan, and what he might do to change things is to make it more familiar with something he knows. He would bring back panels in WWE and try to make it more like UFC with people discussing matches. Fans don't care about discussions, they care about telling interesting stories. Khan would not see what makes better stories, and no one would get this idea either. WWE storytelling may suffer worse than anyone knows if Nick Khan is in charge. WWE is being run like it's Vince McMahon's own entertainment. He regularly books things which only he would find funny. With him stepping down, this culture would change, but unfortunately Nick Khan would not be the best replacement. Khan is as corporate as it gets. He has no idea what fans want either, and he only looks at decisions that might make WWE more short-term profits. At least Vince McMahon has experience being in his position and has respect from a section of fans. Khan has none of that, and would make WWE feel more corporate. The fact that Khan is out of touch is shown even more as after his interview, he said he felt Raw and SmackDown would benefit from being longer. From my point of view, Raw would benefit from being 4 hours, so we could get paid more money and SmackDown would be 8 hours. But I understand our creative folks, as amazing as they are, there is only so much great content they can do on a weekly basis, so I'm good with the 3 and 2 hour system. While he may be good with the current system, he would be looking to bring the hours up so WWE would get paid more. This is the last thing fans need, with them struggling to sit through even a 3-hour episode of Raw. Vince McMahon has a lot of people around him who spent days, weeks, and years kissing up to him. Despite other rumors say that Vince McMahon hates yes men, the boss has accumulated people around him who love to say what he hears. He has a lot of people who tell him what he loves to hear, and anyone who does not really agree with his vision of wrestling is not given the time of day. Eric Bischoff recently revealed how Vince McMahon planned things for shows regularly by tearing up and destroying all the plans for a show at the last minute, to suit his needs, and it didn't matter what anyone else said. You do not need all of those people in one large meeting, and when they're going through a format, I don't give a damn. I don't need to know when a graphic is going to hit. The guys in the truck need to know that. They should have their own production meeting, and to spend 2 hours going over that stuff that you really only needed about an hour tops, 45 minutes if you're focused, to get through, and then to tie up all of that staff who were not doing other things that they could actually be doing that actually could make difference. By the way, we worked on all that stuff during the week before we got to TV. It isn't like this is the first time anybody has ever seen this, right? So then you sit through that 2 hour, 3 hour production meeting, whatever the hell it was. Oh, by the way, while you're sitting there starving because you haven't had lunch yet, you're watching Hunter and Vince pounding down filet mignon and sushi, while you're all sitting there sucking down warm coffee in a styrofoam cup. I thought that was a real waste of time. And then here's the best part. Everybody does get to eat lunch. They go off and start doing the things everybody thought they were assigned to do at the end of that prolongated luncheon for McMahon family and its extended clan. And then you find out, oh, we're tearing this up, and we're going to start over again at 5 o'clock. And we're not talking about, let's take this match and move it from segment 3 to segment 6, or somebody got hurt in the back, so let's rebook another match and find a way to explain it and make sense of it. It's not that. It's, we're blowing it up. As a result, he hated his time as the creative head of SmackDown SmackDown, and left it soon to protect his sanity. With McMahon out of the way, these people who always indulged what Vince wanted would take advantage and try to take over WWE. With Nick Khan, he would not know about these people, and they would all try to take up places of importance around him to get more power. Being negative is not the best approach. So far, Khan has mostly been handling things in a corporate manner and not really dealing with the day-to-day functioning of the company or how stories are written or booked. However, he has been an influence on the profit margin of WWE, and his main concentration, as we mentioned before, has been making sure the overall value of the company has been higher. Unfortunately, this has led to him making a lot of different decisions. Were he to start looking after the entire company, then his focus would be bound to change. In no way is Khan a person from the pro wrestling world. Being a shrewd businessman, he knows that, and he would not want to look after the daily booking in the company. Currently, with someone like Vince McMahon in charge, he assumes that things are going perfectly and that he does not need to do anything different. However, without Vince McMahon front and center, he would need to change this. He would need to take a more personal interest in what's going on in the company. This would lead to him hiring someone who could do the job better. Being who he is, he would be able to interview suitable candidates and bring in someone who understands wrestling. That would let him focus on the business side of things, while whoever he hired looked after the booking in WWE. There are a lot of candidates for this, starting from Triple H and Shane McMahon themselves to Paul Heyman, Eric Bischoff, and others. It could even be someone younger with experience in producing and booking matches like Tyson Kidd. This would make it easy for Khan to step back and might actually mean that the product improves in the long term, instead of declining in the way that it has been. And this was What If Nick Khan Took Over WWE from Vince McMahon. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.